Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be talking about my unpopular opinions in astrology, okay? And in this episode, my unpopular opinion is that Saturn does not rule Aquarius, okay? Saturn does not rule nor co-rule Aquarius, okay? The ruler for Aquarius is Uranus, all right? Now, when you're studying astrology, guys, you're going to learn from a lot of astrologers. Saturn's the co-ruler for Aquarius. You're going to hear a lot of attributes of Aquarius being justified by the planet Saturn. And I'm here to tell you guys that that is not true. Now, the reason why people say Saturn rules Aquarius or co-rules Aquarius is because back in ancient astrology, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, the outer planets, were not discovered yet. They only knew the planets up to Saturn. So when it came to the rulerships, a lot of the signs were kind of bunched up, and one of those signs was Aquarius, and it was assigned, Saturn was assigned the ruler for Aquarius, which to me doesn't really make any sense. But I'm here to say that now that we've discovered Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, we no longer need to go along with these outdated, ancient astrology, ideologies, okay? And listen, okay, my disclaimer is I understand that Aquarius does well in Saturn, because it does, okay? Saturn gives it that structure, which I'm going to get into. However, in order for a planet to rule a sign, the planet must do everything the sign does, okay? There's no differences, there's no discrepancies, there's nothing. Okay, so there are many signs that do well in a planet, but that doesn't mean the planet rules it. The sign has to feel at home at the planet, and in order to feel at home, the planet has to be just alike as the sign. And I'm here to tell you that Aquarius is not like Saturn, okay? And one of my first main reasons for that is structure, okay? Structure. Saturn is all about structure. It's all about foundation. It's all about strategizing. It's all about planning. It's all about building, okay? It's all about routine. It wants to create foundation, wants to create structure, it wants to create something that's predictable, something you can rely on. Aquarius is all about unorthodox things, random things, shocking things, destruction, okay? Having to do things differently in order to reinvent, okay? If you keep going by tradition and routine, you're not going to be able to invent because you're doing the same thing. That's Aquarius. That's why Aquarius is the rebel. It's not about structure, okay? Aquarius energy is destruction. It's random. It's shocking. It's like electricity. So how can energy so unpredictable be ruled by one of the most structuring, disciplined, traditional planets like Saturn? Saturn's all about structure. It's all about prediction, things that are predictable. It's all about creating a foundation. It rules the government. The government is always trying to sustain laws and sustain society, okay? It takes society to break the rules of the government for things to advance. So Saturn's all about structure. Aquarius is not. Aquarius is the rule breaker. Saturn's the rule maker. Aquarius is the rule breaker. So it doesn't make sense to say a sign like Aquarius, so different, so unique, so offbeat, okay, so, unstable, to be ruled by a planet all about stability, all about structure, all about foundation. It just doesn't make sense. That's why I do not agree with Saturn being considered a ruler or co-ruler for Aquarius. Again, rulerships. The planet has to do exactly what the sign does, okay? That is a rulership. Yes, I understand Aquarius does well in Saturn, but that's not the same. That's an exaltation. That's like being exalted in the planet. That's not the same. Because if that was the case, Aquarius would already have structure. Okay, there's that difference. There's that big difference, okay? Very big difference. Another thing is the element that they operate in. Saturn operates in the earth element, okay? This is all about, again, the physical reality. Like I said, structure, foundation, what we build, okay? Aquarius operates in the air element. This is all about the mind, communication, society, connecting, okay? Mental energy, okay? And with mental energy is actually more flexible than earth energy, because When it comes to Earth energy, and we talk about Saturn, it deals with practicality. This is all about structure, building. This is hard, this is stiff, this is things that don't move well because you're trying to create a strong foundation. Air is all about movement. It's flexible, okay? This is why Aquarius and Saturn are very different as well too, because Aquarius, you know, they can go off with the mind, whereas Saturn's all about, you know, things that are more conservative, ideas that are more conservative, ideas that work on a practical level. It's not going to go into all those details and all those ideas off the mind that Aquarius does. Saturn is very traditional, Aquarius is not. You know, these elements are different. And speaking about the elements, Saturn operating in Earth and Aquarius operating in air. Saturn and Aquarius is very social. Saturn is not. Okay, when you talk about Saturn energy, Saturn's focuses on your building, your hard work. A lot of times Saturn energy has you like basically a loner, because you always have to work hard, you always have to focus on your business. It's not about socializing and friendships, you're all about the business. It's not a very social sign. You know, even when you make it to the top, you know, Saturn deals with people in the way of managing people, not really connecting and socializing. That is Aquarius. Aquarius is all about socializing, networking, connecting with people, friends, friendships, groups, all of these things. It's a very, very extroverted social sign. So Saturn, this very disciplined, business, conservative, I'm not dealing with people unless it's business. How does that rule a sign like Aquarius, all about social networking and friends? It just doesn't make sense. The proper ruler for Aquarius is Uranus, because Uranus deals with society, groups, okay, networking, social media. That's what Uranus deals with. So the proper ruler for Aquarius is Uranus, not Saturn. Saturn will have you being a lone wolf. Saturn will have you lonely. These are not the same energies. I mean, I just really don't get it. Okay, even if you look at the planets in general, if you look at the planet Saturn rules Capricorn. That is a proper rulership. If you look at the planet Saturn, it has this ring around it. And that ring is a ring of ice and rocks. And it's because Saturn has boundaries. You can't just fly into Saturn. You have to go through all these rocks and all these ice, the boundary. Okay, because Saturn is very much about boundaries. It's very conservative. It doesn't just let anyone come in and out. You know, it's very structured. Okay, whereas you look at Uranus, you can tell Uranus rules Aquarius, because look at Uranus. Uranus is the only planet that rotates on the side of its axis. That's very unique. It rotates on the side. And what is Aquarius all about? The rebel, the person who's unique, the innovator, the person who does something different. It's the energy of doing things in a different way, reinventing. It makes sense. Uranus is the ruler for Aquarius. We don't have to keep saying it's with Saturn. And again, I understand Aquarius does well in Saturn in instances, but so do many other signs. Signs can do well in other planets. It doesn't mean that the planet rules it. For an example, I have Saturn in Aquarius, okay? So I'm very familiar with this energy, but I'm also familiar with these two energies together. And one thing Saturn in Aquarius does is it limits your friendships, your social life, your networking. It really limits it for a long time up until your Saturn return, because you have to really build it and structure it. And that's not fun for Aquarius. How can you say Aquarius is at home in Saturn when all it does is it limits one of the main things that Aquarius wants to do, which is connect, okay? It just, I know what Saturn Aquarius feels like. That's not Aquarius being at home. Uranus in Aquarius, that's Aquarius being at home, because Aquarius can truly be itself. It could be its innovative self, its rebellious self, and it can connect with so many people, okay? Saturn does not do that, okay? Saturn is not about being rebellious. Saturn's all about structure, discipline, creating rules, doing the standard. How can that rule Aquarius? All about breaking rules. And then again, Saturn's all about business. It doesn't deal with so many friends and connections and all that Aquarius does. So Aquarius is at home with Uranus. Capricorn is at home with Saturn. So that's just all I wanted to say, guys. This is my unpopular opinion, okay? I know when you guys are studying astrology, a lot of astrologers, I would say most of them will say that Saturn co-rules or rules Aquarius. And they will try to justify Aquarius attributes to Saturn. And they're so different. Aquarius couldn't be so different from Saturn. There's not much any similarities, okay? The most I would say was that they deal with big energies, okay? Saturn dealing with your career and industries and government, and then Aquarius being ruled by Uranus dealing with big societies and large groups and society at large. So yeah, they deal with big energies, but that's not enough to say that rules Aquarius, and that's not even what people use to justify the rulership. So that's my unpopular opinion. Saturn does not rule nor co-rule Aquarius, and I hope you guys enjoyed that and agree with that too, and be back for some more. Also, if you enjoyed this video, book a reading with me. I do astro and tarot readings, okay? You just gotta email me and we could go forward with that. And also check out my music. I have my music on Spotify, here on YouTube, and on Apple Music as well too. All the links will be in the description box below. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.
Take a stance, I want you